Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. What a beautiful day it's been today. So I was reading up about the so-called vigil with the story of Sarah Everard, yeah? So I was reading it and one part of it got my interest, okay? So let me just read this. So they're talking about the vigil that happened over the weekend, and what they say is, this is on Sky News by the way, they say, a man walks onto the bandstand and says he wants to make a speech in front of the quiet crowd. He begins shouting angrily about the passing away of Sarah and CV regulations. It prompts some people in the crowd to start booing, while one voice can be heard saying, "Shut up, chants of 'not your place' ring out from the crowd," which prompts the man to begin his angry tirade again. He is then led away by police. Okay, so what they're saying here is some guy comes up, wants to make a speech, people start to get angry, and then he's taken away by the police. Okay, now at no point do they tell you who this person is. They show you a photo. Now some people will know who he is, others won't. I know who he is. Okay, I know who he is, and I know who the guy behind him, in blue, funny enough blue like the police, who is filming as well. Okay, so the one in the front, the guy that the story is about, is called Heiko Khoo. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to look and see who he is. Alright? Because according to Sky News, you know, if it was up to Sky News, you wouldn't know who he was. They haven't bothered to do any research. I'm sure they know who he is, but they haven't bothered to do any research, any sort of fact finding into finding out who this guy is and what his name is. So his name is Heiko Khoo, and let's get into it. All right, 1 second. So let's start here. So he joined the Labour Party youth at 17. Okay. So right at the start, while still a teenager, he's already making his way into the political game. Yeah? So that's that. What else have we got here? So we've got him on a Labour website, writing an article. So he's obviously still in Labour, yeah, part of that. So all the way back from when he was 17, still doing it, yeah. This is quite interesting here. So he's actually, as well, was a guide, I don't know if he still is, a guide for the Karl Marx walking tour, yeah, in London. So he's actually a guide, alright? So let's read what it says here. Dr. Heiko Khoo has studied Marxist ideas for how many years? 33. So he studied Marxist ideas for 33 years. Okay? He's got a PhD, which examines China's social system and political economy using Marxist theory. Okay? Now, I personally know him from Speaker's Corner, and that's what they go on to say, that he's well known at Speaker's Corner. He also ran walking tours in Berlin, specialising in the rise and fall of East Germany, and has a detailed knowledge of East European and Soviet jokes, which he uses to enhance the Karl Marx story and to help explain the fate of communist states. So this guy is an expert in Marxist ideas. He studied it for 33 years, guys. Just the same amount of years as a 33-degree Freemason. Okay? So, that's a bit of background about him. As you can see here from this picture, very proudly wearing the symbol of communism there. Yeah? And here he is speaking at some conference about India. Okay. So the thing about this guy is, if he is an actor, he's quite well into it, because I'd say he's been part of that game since he was 17 and got into Labour Youth. It would be obvious that they would be grooming him to be something. Okay. Now let's go back to the original photo here. So look at the guy behind him in the blue, like I said, in police blue colours, supposedly just filming. Well, that is Resistance GB, and he is a traitor to this country and to humanity. This is him here. So he's actually a Conservative politician who got suspended over racist remarks. Okay? So you got Khoo, who's Labour, and then you got this guy here who's Conservative. What it tells me is that they're both actors, okay? Because really, if you are a freedom fighter, really, if you are anti-lockdown, then you know that Labour and Conservative are the same thing, and they are just both different wings on the same bird. Yeah, they're basically still just tool of the elite. So whether it's blue for Conservative or red for Labour, both the same thing. So yeah, he's a politician, this guy. And here's another picture of him filming khoo yet again. So it's almost like this guy is their official sort of filmer, yeah? And look at khoo just dressing up. The thing about him, he'll make some valid points, but he'll spoil it by his attitude and behaviour and erraticness. No one's really going to take anyone seriously who's dressed up as a policeman like that, but also wearing, you know, Adidas trainers. And here he is again, riding around his bike. Well, not his bike, his rented bike, around Speaker's Corner. And who's filming him? Yeah, the usual fake journalists, such as Subject Access here with the legs like a stork. And then this guy here with the blue jeans, Pavlov, who's a proven actor. So fake journalists and actors basically filming khoo as well. All right. And here's khoo on the floor, as you do. Yeah. It's just, everything is just a show. It basically feels like a show, you know, when you get down to it. So yeah, that was the politician, yeah, filming him constantly. And here he is getting arrested at Speaker's Corner. And as you can see from the face, it just looks like a big drama. And here's khoo. He says he disguised himself so that he wouldn't get, you know, recognised, and then he can just, you know, carry on doing his speech, basically, by dressing up as what could be said looks like a woman. I don't know. Very strange. Very strange. So that is him. That is khoo, guys, yeah? Believe it or not, that is him disguised as well. So what do you think? Quality, innit? And what about this photo, guys? What about this photo, guys? Look at the hat. You could not make this up, guys. So, khoo, a Marxist who has spoken in the park since 1986. Yeah. Wearing that hat, man. And then here he is on a show for Russia Today with George Galloway. So George Galloway there on the right, and then khoo there. Here he is again, looking a bit like David Essex. Some of you won't know who that is. But yeah, this guy has basically been in this game since he was 17. So think of all the fake things that he's had to do the things he's had to say all this time. Now let's have a look at some of the photos of him getting arrested, because that's why it was very surprising that Sky News didn't seem to know who he is, because this guy gets arrested all the time, as I'm about to show you guys. Look. And it's always a real comical, stupid way of getting arrested. Like, look now, look. There he is with his Adidas. Now, Adidas seems to be the brand for crisis actors. Lots of them seem to wear Adidas. I don't know if it's because of the stripes it stands out. It's a possibility. But yeah, so there's another photo of him getting arrested. Here's a photo of him doing his... Look at the pointing, guys. This is what a proper speech involves, guys. Lots of pointing around and wearing boiler suits. Yeah. Here's another arrest, guys. And as always, there's always loads of police around him, because what they want to do is they want to have a scene that the media take loads of pictures of. And then people get put off going out to protest because people like this guy supposedly get arrested. Yeah? So people think, well, if this guy gets arrested and he's been at Speaker's Corner since 1986, what chance have I got of going out and making a difference? So literally, by these events, which I personally believe to be highly questionable whether they're actually real or not, all these sort of possible staged arrests, all it does is create panic and fear in the populace and terror. Okay, so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that you don't have a voice, yeah, because that you're scared to go out because you might get arrested, like he has done numerous occasions. And in fact, it's very much like Piers Corbyn, and we will do a video about Piers Corbyn and heiko because they are very, very, very much connected. Okay, so that will be another video of Piers Corbyn. We're doing a series of videos about Piers Corbyn. We're on the 8th one next, I think, because literally he's an actor himself, it looks like, Piers Corbyn, and he is connected to so many actors like this guy as well, who get arrested at the drop of a hat, never see any prison time or anything like that. It's all for show. It's all for the media to take pictures of. So there you go. So let's summarize this quickly, shall we? Let's summarize it. So we have here a vigil for Sarah Everard, and then this guy here, khoo, says that he wants to say a few words, and he basically gets booed and cussed out by the crowd and then gets led away by the police. Sky News don't seem to know who he is, even though it's so obvious who it is, and anyone who knows anything about politics would probably know who he is. The guy filming him behind him, yeah, Resistance GB, wearing all blue like police, yeah, he's dodgy as well, as you can see from here. This is a picture of him so-called getting arrested, and no one acts like that. He's just an actor playing the part of a Conservative politician who supposedly gets suspended over racist remarks, and all of a sudden now he's a freedom fighter, guys, you know. But here's the thing, okay? If you are claiming Conservative and you're still claiming Labour, then as far as I'm concerned, you are part of the problem anyway, and you are not a freedom fighter. You are not part of the truth movement, and you are not part of the anti-lockdown movement. How could you possibly be when both Labour and Conservative are for this lockdown? Yeah? So, khoo and this guy here, Resistance GB, the fact that you're still claiming Labour and claiming Conservative is an absolute joke. All right? Absolute joke. So, khoo, Joined the Labour Party at 17, Labour Party youth at 17. So he's been groomed all the way back since then. He writes articles on Labour websites, so he's definitely part of the Labour thing. He's that much of an expert in Marxism that he can actually do guided tours because he studied Marxist ideas for 33 years. That's right, guys. 33, like 33-degree Mason. So he studied Marxist ideas for 33 years, which means that he has so much knowledge he can actually do a walking tour about Karl Marx. All right? Here he is at Speaker's Corner wearing that military hat like a Soviet Union general. Yeah. I just find it hilarious. I absolutely find it hilarious. So he's constantly getting arrested. It's all for show. Always for the media to take loads of photos of. It's perfect. He speaks very well, okay, but you would do when you've been groomed for this since you were 17, guys, and you supposedly have studied Marxist ideas for 33 years, guys. So what I would summarize is this guy was selected when he was young because he was very good at speaking, intelligent, and what they did is they wanted him to play a part in this whole thing for decades. And it was probably actually all leading to this moment now, okay, where he's getting arrested and they're basically using his fake arrest to then say, right, there's no freedom of speech because people like this are constantly coming here and getting arrested and not social distancing, etc., etc. So, yeah, I found that very, very interesting, guys. The fact that Sky News don't happen to know who the guy was, but I know him very well. Very well. And the guy behind him. And him holding that orange bag is another indication that he's an actor, because they tend to do this so that the police can see a visual indicator that it's one of their own, and therefore, you know, they don't take it more seriously than they need to. And like I said, the guy behind him in all blue, another fake journalist called Resistance GB, who's a fake and a fraud and a charlatan and is actually a conservative politician. All right, there's khoo literally on the floor, still filming. He's just being a showman constantly, guys. And you know, this picture here should prove it to you. Yeah, he's just an actor with different disguises, different events to do, different arrests to get done. Yeah. And like I said, the t-shirt shows you, and the hat shows you everything that you need to know. All right? So the very fact that Sky News go to the effort of talking about him, like they have in this bit here, but they don't seem to know who he is absolutely laughable. I'd imagine they probably didn't even want to mention the fact that he's got all this baggage, and the fact that he's been arrested constantly, and the fact that he's been in the Labour Party since 17, the fact that he's been studying Marxist ideas for 33 years, etc., etc. And like I said, he's deeply connected to Piers Corbyn. And we will do a video about that soon, connecting Piers Corbyn and khoo. That will probably be in the next couple of days. But yeah, I found this very, very interesting. Hope you did too. All right. So there we have khoo, the person who gets arrested constantly. He's a Marxist, part of the Labour youth since 17. Gets filmed by fakes and traitors like this loser here on the right hand side. Yeah. Gets filmed by fake journalists like him. And here's khoo in another one of his acting roles. You know, got all the costume there, but, you know, still rocking the Adidas trainers as well. Okay. So what we've got is we've got another fake journalist slash actor being filmed by fake journalists there, subject access, filmed by a fake anti-lockdown protester there, Pavlov. He's a proven actor. So yeah, it's not just him, it's the circles that he is in connection with. They are dodgy, just like him. They have their arrests faked, it looks like, just like him. Everything looks highly questionable, and it looks like they're just there to play a role. Alright? So, I hope you found that interesting, because I did. I think some of the photos that I found are absolutely insane. So, that's heiko in regards to the Sarah Everard vigil that happened over the weekend. As reported on Sky News, who don't happen to know who he is, but I'm telling you right now, it's heiko, and he is a Marxist. He has been part of Labour since 17 years old, and he's been getting arrested constantly, and it's all for show, and he is also connected to many actors as well, and provable actors as well. All right, so let's leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. All the best to you. No new normal. Unite the people to fight the evil. This has been Overkill, and we are over and out. When there is darkness, we shine our light the brightest. Take care. Peace and blessings.